Bullseye Ballistics. Blah, 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 blah. Alright, I get it right. Crazy old one-legged man, Iron Man, Joel, over 40 years, Master Gunsmithing. Well, not master in the beginning. 70,000, over 70,000 schematics for parts for just about anything from a 1800s Laramie shotgun to a 1022 Ruger. Anyway, trying to make this short. So, my neighbor's been experimenting, and he's a crazy scientist, and I don't know how he got it. He got a hold of some Hulk blood. So he's been experimenting, and there goes the wind. So he has experimented on rats this time, and one got away. So this big old giant mutated Hulk-blooded rat, he's behind your dishwasher in your house. Okay? So if he's behind your dishwasher, you got two choices. You got choice number one, Glock 357 SIG. Choice number two, Smith & Wesson 10 millimeter. Okay? 4.6, 4.49. So pretty close barrel length as the same, you know. Alright, so now we're gonna, why my wallet's in there. I love a Texas wallet. So now let me go ahead and put these on. Walker's Game Mirror. These things work really good, really well. Alright, let me turn the volume up so I can hear myself talk a little bit. There we go. Now I can hear a squirrel fart 40 yards away. And then when you shoot, these are the razor, Walker razor. So when you shoot, your sound goes right out. So, absolutely amazing. Thank you for the gift, by the way. My cousin gave them to me. So, we're going to try this. So, behind that dishwasher, you see the little purple marks there. I'll zoom in a few. Get a close up. So behind that is that mutated rat, big old giant rat with the Hulk blood and all that. And like I said, the guy, my neighbor, experimenting all the time. Just heard a squirrel fart. Oh, he was 50 yards that time. So, like I said, you got two options: 357 SIG. Or 10 millimeter. Now, let's get a little information. I love information. I love knowledge. My dad growing up always said the more knowledge you have in life, the more power you have. So, whether it's a new way to wipe your butt, learn something every day if you can. All right. So, 357 SIG out of my Glock 31 is running at the muzzle around 1350. That's with Winchester FMJ. Foot pounds at muzzle. See, I told you in the last video I screwed words up. It's 506 foot pounds. The 10 millimeter is 180 grain. Oh, forgot. The 357 125. Got that? So, grains. So the 10 millimeter is 180 grains. So you got a little weight difference. But as far as muzzle is 1250 for the 10. and like I said, 1350 for the 357 SIG. So they're relatively close, other than diameter. One's 355, one's 400. So the energy of it is 624 at the muzzle. So heavier bullet, it makes sense. It's gonna have more punch. Like the myth of, I call it a myth, knockdown power. There's no such thing as knockdown power unless you know this guy that I know in Kentucky that shoots a 4-bore at a 250-pound concrete Atlas ball. Now, that's knockdown, because when he hit the ball, it rolled it. That's knockdown power. Any other time, movies hype it up. Saw a movie a while back. Dude was shooting the a lever action 45-70, and when it hit the guy from hundreds of yards away, he goes back. Boom. No, not in real life. That bullet's moving so fast, it goes right through you and tears you up or whatever it does, but it's not going to literally knock you down. There's no such thing. Unless you, my buddy, in Kentucky with a 4-bore, shooting 2,100 grains of solid lead. That's a different story. A 50 BMG, 700-800 grains weight, it won't knock nobody down like that. It's like I said, that's a myth. Anyway, if you want to argue with me, that's fine. Leave a comment. Please hit like, subscribe, and let's have fun doing these things. So anyway, let's get back to this rat. So he's mutated, and he's dripping out some kind of stuff that if it drips too much, it's going to blow up. So you don't want to blow your house up. Well, you don't want him to blow your house up. So let's do a test. Top purple, I'll zoom in a few. Bottom purple. Top purple, I'm going to do the 357 SIG. Bottom, I'm going to do the 10. I'm going to attempt 2 shots each one. Both projectiles are FMJ, by the way. So let's penetrate that, and let's kill that rat so he don't blow our house up. Okay? All right. So, all right, there is 10 millimeter FMJ, 10 mil FMJ. Let's get a magazine to put 2 of them in. And block. The magazine is fine. 2 blocks. Block is a bottleneck round. Look, guess what the parent case of a 357 SIG is? Or a 40. A 40 caliber is nothing but like a short 10 millimeter. They took a 10 millimeter, shrunk it down just a little bit so you can be more manageable on recoil. Well, I'm not the recoil king, but I'm not shooting a 50 cal. I'm not even going to attempt that. But I do shoot my shotgun, my semi-auto shotgun with one hand quite a bit with 3-inch magnums or turkey loads or whatever. Been doing it all my life. Well, since I was knee-high to a grasshopper anyway. So Anyway, like I said, the parent case, 10 mil. The parent case of a 357 SIG and a 40 Smith & Wesson is a 10 millimeter. Like I said, they made it more manageable in the 40, so you can shoot the same projectile, which is 400 thousandths of an inch, 40 cal. We'll get into that in other videos because there's so much knowledge that I have that I like to share with you. So, hopefully you can see me. I'll tell you what, let's pull up just a hair. Without losing everything. Let's try that. All right. Get all this junk out of the way. I hope you can see pretty good. Instead of Iron Man, I should be called Hoppy. No, don't do that. I don't like that. Anyway, okay. So, like in my last video, I was talking about is, I'm sure I talked about the Glock having 3 stages before it goes PAL. So get the travel out before, well, I mean, you're going to aim anyway, no matter what. But before you focus on aiming, get it on your target. Learn how to get the travel out or the creep just before it snaps. And like I said, your accuracy will become a lot better. Now watch, I can't hit the broadside of a barn standing inside of it. Now that I said that. All right. Top. Point your finger at your target. You're going to hit it. Don't tell nobody I was that bad. Okay, now 10 times. And I'm going to use my regular sight. I'm not even going to turn my optic on. You like the same group? All right, now, let me lay all this mess down here out of my way. Now, let me hoppy over here. Get back on my 4-dealer. Then I'm gonna come over here and zoom in and then go down there and look at the target. Sound good? All right. Do this right quick. Anyway, so you see the top there. Oh, by the way, I can zoom way on in 100 times wanted to. I love this new upgrade phone. It's the 25 Ultra Samsung. But I got to learn it. I'm an old man. I got to learn all these new tricks. Back when I was a teenager, I worked at Dell and rebuilding laptops, and that was 386 SX based. Windows 95. You're going to find out how old I am here in a minute. But anyway, technology has came so far since then. And by it being involved, evolving, my old butt has to learn new stuff. All right, let's go back to 5 times. All right, that should do it. Okay. Here we go. I'm busier than a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest. Hope I win, man. Scooch, 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 scooch. I think you can see there. Can you see there? Okay. All right, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Holy moly. 357. Well, I can't tell. Gotta look at the back of it. According to the back, the 10, the last shot went downhill real fast. So it must have hit something in there, ricocheted down. So it ain't on paper, but it is on paper on the first shot. And that's the SIG. That's the SIG. I don't know what happened here. I guess that's just a paper tear. Yep. I'll bring this closer and show you in a second. So, nice hole. Nice hole. Not quite as big. Of course it ain't. It's 357 thousandths of an inch compared to 400 thousandths of an inch. Probably need to zoom back out. I like using my hands with the gears. These shoes are real soft. It's the Skechers slip-ins, but the top's real soft. And oh, brakes! Lock brake. Okay. There's that neighbor's rat. Hope this is zeroed in here and focused on it. So, yeah. So, either one you got in your hand, the 10 or the 357 SIG, rat history. Your house ain't gonna blow up. You don't have to worry about it. So, put one in each hand and shoot them both at the same time if you want to. Kill that mutated, ugly looking, nasty scientist rat with the Hulk blood. He's dead. Next video, I heard he was experimenting on bees. I'm scared to even know what that's going to be like. But anyway, he was experimenting with bees, and let's see if one gets away. Hopefully. What's a bee in most of the time? You get in a car and there's a bee in there and everybody, your wife hollers, your kids yelling and screaming. They're scared to death of that bee. Everybody exits a vehicle in 0 to 60 in half a second when that bee's in there. So maybe we can catch a bee, one of them mutated bees, behind the windshield. Let's do that. Let's test some 22s when we do it. Different velocities, say around 1,250 feet per second at muzzle. We'll get a few boxes of different brands and let's see what'll penetrate. All right, till next time. Thank you. Stay armed, stay safe. Practice your trigger time. Remember that. All right, bye.